Welcome to the West Parry Sound District Museum's YouTube channel. Each month, we will talk about a unique artifact from our collection and the history connected to it. Like what you see? Don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel. To see more amazing videos, please donate to the West Parry Sound District Museum and check out our website at www.museumontowerhill.com.
This month, we're exploring the history of the Laird family and their connection to Laird's jewelry store and the Great Train Heist of 1928. Born in Strabane, Ireland in 1864, Robert Laird immigrated to Ontario in his 20s and eventually settled down in the town of Parry Sound. He married Elizabeth Barker of McDougall, and they had 8 children: Fanny, Frank, Jack, Gertrude, Margaret, Edward, Walter, and Houghton. Robert worked various labor-related jobs, including as a mill worker and a school janitor. He passed on March 8, 1920, and Elizabeth passed 29 years later. They are buried together at Hillcrest Cemetery alongside their daughter Fanny. Frank was the second of their 8 children, born February 17, 1890. He married Grace May Douglas from the Waterloo region, and they had 3 children, Jean, Douglas, and Edward. He started in the jewelry business, working with Alf Ainsley, in April 1909. Frank acquired Laird's jewelry store shortly after on May 10th. The store was located on James Street and had previously been the location of J. A. Wood's Excelsior Bakery, and before that, Ed Shropshire's Bakery. This grandfather clock was built by Robbery Clock Company and originally hung in one of the railroad stations in the Parry Sound area before being acquired by Laird's jewelry store. According to our research, it was worth $25 in 1903, and in 2001, Chen Dai Li valued it at $5,000 in his Waterbury Clocks and Watches reference book. This embossing machine was used by Laird's jewelry store. It uses the hot stamp printing method, where pre-dried inks or foils are transferred onto a surface. This method was invented in the 19th century, but rose to popularity during the 1970s. On May 10, 1959, Frank celebrated 50 years in business. Frank would pass in 1971, and his wife, Grace, the following year after. Early Saturday, August 18, 1928, Frank's younger brother, Walter Laird, awoke to discover that his brother-in-law, Lee Lyman's car, was missing. Walter, along with his brother Houghton, convinced Harold Rowland, an employee of Laird's jewelry store, to help them take chase of the car robbers. Unbeknownst to them, this was not the robbers' first crime of the day. Earlier in the morning, 2 men had climbed onto an eastbound mail car on the Transcontinental Canadian Railway, stealing several $1,000s in cash and valuables. Thomas Jackson was born in Collingwood on June 13, 1866, to John and Bridget Jackson. In September 1901, he married Eleanor McNeil, and they had 3 children, Claude, Alan, and Phyllis. Thomas was living and working as a farmer in Wabamek when he and his son Claude were awakened by a car needing a tow. The 2 were unaware that the individuals in need were actually robbers, until Walter, Houghton, and Rowland caught up to the stolen car. Walter informed Thomas of the situation and told the robbers to exit the car. Shots were then fired from inside the car, and Thomas was fatally shot in the throat, while Walter was injured in the left arm. Walter managed to apprehend one of the robbers as Claude retrieved a rope to bind him. The robber was John Burkowski. He had previously been committed to prisons in Pennsylvania and New York for shooting with intent to kill and robbery. On September 28, 1928, Burkowski was charged with car theft, train robbery, and murder. During his trial, he was put under heavy guard and even moved to a jail in Toronto, as there was a belief that attempts might be made to rescue him by his accomplice. 3 months later, he was hanged at the Parry Sound Jail for his crimes. Burkowski never revealed the name of his accomplice, and they were never found. After the news broke, Walter and Houghton were dubbed heroes. Walter received multiple letters of gratitude for his actions, some of which are in the museum's collection. He also received a commemorative wristwatch that commended him and his brother for their conspicuous bravery. We hope you enjoyed this snapshot into the Laird's family history. If you like what we do, Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.